Hey everybody, my name is Patrick. I am a husband, a dad, a human, and a creator living in New York City. And on this channel, we talk about all of it. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. And if you are a longtime friend, well, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here as well. Let's be honest with each other for a second. The internet can be this beautiful place where you can learn and grow and create. And YouTube is the same, a place where you can learn and grow and create. But both of those places can also be very scary if you don't know what you're doing. Now, if you gathered together about 100 kids, maybe you went into a few classrooms and said, hey, what do you guys want to do with your life? What are you into?
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Boys have
A large number of those kids would say some version of content creation, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. YouTube is not going to stop growing, and it is not uncommon on all of these social media outlets to see kids on these platforms. So I've come up with a few things that are going to help us guardians and parents safely introduce YouTube to our kids when they come and say, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel. So stay with me. My baby's waking up. Am I gonna be able to film this video? The first thing I would do when one of my kids comes up to me and says, I want to start a YouTube channel, is ask them, why? Why do they want to? You may have no idea about their intentions. Maybe they just wanna have fun. Maybe they actually have a large, drawn-out plan about how they are going to gain subscribers and share their talents with the world. Their answers may shock you, but if you don't know why they want to start a YouTube channel, you're not going to be able to make informed decisions about what they should and should not be doing on YouTube. And by the way, your kids already know about YouTube. They already know about social media. Their friends are at school talking about it, and as they talk and learn about those different platforms, they're going to come to you with some stuff that you never even knew existed. At the very least, you're gonna get some comedy out of this answer. So ask them why. The second thing you should do is learn more about YouTube. If you're not subscribing to channels or watching videos that help you learn about things that you're interested in, it's going to hurt you in the long run when you're trying to make informed decisions about what you want your kids doing online, specifically with YouTube. So get into YouTube, learn a little bit about how it works, create your own channel even, and start subscribing to things that interest you so that you can start learning about how the YouTube world works. This third one is really fun. Watch YouTube with your kids. There are a few channels that my sons and I watch together. I have a 14-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 1-year-old. The 1-year-old, I mean, every once in a while, if we need him to stay busy while we're making dinner for everybody, we'll turn on Elmo or something. But my older kids who understand a little bit more about the YouTube world and have interests and hobbies and things like that, there's a couple channels that they love to watch. Number one, Star Wars Theory. When the new Star Wars movies came out with Rey and Kylo Ren, which, by the way, we're not going to debate whether or not they're good or bad. I mean, we loved watching those movies. But it kind of sent us on this journey about wanting to learn more about Star Wars. My childhood was then being wrapped up into their childhood, and I was sharing with them things that I knew, and they were sharing with me things they were learning. And we watched this channel called Star Wars Theory that talks all about Star Wars. It's super nerdy and super fun. Another channel that we love to watch together is Kara and Nate. It's this couple that has millions of subscribers on YouTube now that just decided to drop everything and travel the world. And not only did they travel, but they turn those travels into a YouTube channel, and the adventures they go on are so fun. And when my sons and I see that there's a new Kara and Nate available, we sit down and watch it together most of the time. So watch YouTube with your kids, because when you do that, you can point out to them the things that you respect about those videos, the things that you enjoy, or even the things that you're like, I'm not sure if that was a good idea in that video. And it helps lay a groundwork as they move forward, desiring to be YouTube creators, which my sons are. As they move forward, it creates a groundwork for them to be able to say, oh, I remember that Kara and Nate did this, that Star Wars Theory did this, or that my dad or my mom or my guardian said that they liked this, or that they weren't sure if that was the right call. It lays a groundwork for their creation on YouTube. The next thing you should do is set clear boundaries. If you're setting clear boundaries the first time your kids make a YouTube video, it's going to be way easier to look to those boundaries at their 100th video. If you don't set clear boundaries, or at least some clear boundaries at their first video, it's going to make it way harder to pull back the reins or make changes at the 100th video. If there's a continuing conversation that you and your kids have about the boundaries set in place for their YouTube videos that they're creating and showing to the world,
I can show you the world.
It's going to be very helpful to them. In my parenting, maybe you disagree with me on this, but in my parenting, I find that kids don't want to just run around and do whatever they want. They actually like clear structure because it helps them set and achieve goals. So instead of just being like watching every video and saying, you did this and I didn't like it, at the very beginning, you're talking about why they want to start a YouTube channel. You're learning about YouTube and you're watching YouTube with them. But then out of all of that, you're setting some clear boundaries to help them move forward. And they've got a lane they can run in. So for me, like a couple of clear boundaries that you might want to begin talking to your kids about. What topics are off limits? Instead of approving every single thing they do, why not have a conversation about what you don't want them talking about? Maybe they turn on their camera and they start talking all about your job and the things you've been saying about your job, and you're like, I don't want that on the internet. That's a boundary. So what do you not want them talking about? Having those clear boundaries in place, it really lets them, again, just stay in that lane and run with all their might, knowing that they've been given the go-ahead. Okay, here's one that's really important to me. I make sure my kids know that they own their devices, not the other way around. Once your child has a device like an iPad or an iPhone or something like that for school or FaceTiming their friends, you will realize that when that device dings or buzzes or gives them a notification of any kind, they respond to those notifications quicker than they've ever responded to any of your instructions. And there are days where I look at my sons and their phone rings and I say, stop, we're at dinner. We're not getting up to check our phone. But my friends are trying to contact me. Yeah, but you own that device. It doesn't own you. When we talked about boundaries, I want to actually separate this as its own category. Boundaries is one thing, but you should have a conversation with your kids about what not to show. You know, one of our kids, when they started their YouTube channel, loved ordering baseball cards and still does. And when he would order a new card, he would film himself going to the mailbox and opening it. And when he went to that mailbox, he would show our apartment number. Now listen, is anything gonna happen because he showed that information? Probably not. But we want to teach him safety for down the line. And I looked at him, I said, hey bud, when you made that video, I loved everything you did, but did you know that you zoomed in on our apartment number and the door to our apartment? So, you know, let's be a little bit safer. Let's not give away phone numbers, account numbers, apartment numbers, street addresses of places that are important to us. Don't show those things. And when you're editing a video, look for any times where you've accidentally shown those things and edit it out. Or how about this? Don't show other people in your videos without their permission. One of my sons took his phone to baseball practice, filmed an amazing baseball practice video. It's really, really good. It's one of my favorite videos he's ever made. But then I realized that his friend was featured in the video right beside him. Now, they're friends, they hang out. I'm sure he has no problem with it. I'm sure his parents have no problem with it. But after that video was published, I said, hey buddy, I need you to check in with your buddy to make sure with his parents it's okay that you are putting him on YouTube. So what not to show? Don't show addresses. Don't show important places that you go to every day. Don't show your friends without their permission. These are things that a lot of people don't know because cameras are in our faces all the time. And these kids, when given that boundary of what not to show, it helps them move forward and be as safe as possible. Okay, we could obviously talk about way more tips than this, but for today, this is my last one and it's my favorite. When a child comes to you and says, I want to start a YouTube channel, say, great, I want you to film 10 videos, and before your channel goes public, I'm going to make your channel private. Never start a child off with a public YouTube channel. Start them with a private YouTube channel. You've asked them about why they're starting a channel. You've talked to them about boundaries. You've told them what you don't want them to show. You've learned more about YouTube. You're watching YouTube with them, and you're taking all of that and saying, apply that to 5 videos. Apply what we've talked about to 10 videos. And all those videos are going to be completely private. And I'm going to watch them and I'm going to say, hey, you did a great job here. Hey, next time I don't want this shown. We've talked about that. Or hey, these 10 videos are exactly in line with what we've talked about. And once they have shown you that they can be responsible with the YouTube channel, that they can share appropriate information, then you say, let's make this thing public. And then you share it with everybody and say, everybody subscribe to this thing. Bonus tip, if you or your child wants to learn more about YouTube and you need some coaching, visit learn.iampatrickmurphy.com. This is the easiest way to get a hold of me if you're looking for some coaching. I can create a plan for you and your kids to create healthy, fun, engaging YouTube channels that people are going to click on and watch. So feel free to reach out to me. Okay, so a kid comes to you and says, I want to start a YouTube channel. These tips are going to really help you out, but I'm sure there's more that you guys can think of. Let me know down in the comments any questions or tips that you have that you want to share with the rest of us. And then do all the other YouTube things. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Keep creating.